I'm so great here with you. Let's start on our backs, but before you come down to your back, we will need a chair or something nearby, a wall or a counter space to help support us in some balancing poses today. So have that nearby, and then whatever you're using for your tools, a couple of towels, any blocks you might have, you'll definitely want whatever you're using for a strap. But then once you have your things, go ahead and come on down to your back. And then from here, maybe putting something under your head, especially if you know your ribs tend to thrust up, relax them down, and then bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open out to the sides. And you can be here without any support under your thighs, but you're also welcome to always put something under your thighs for a little support. And remember, support is not just for someone who's here and it's uncomfortable to stay here, but if your thighs pretty easily drop open, that means this all the time when you're doing this, you're working in the same ranges of motion. So putting something underneath your thighs helps change up that range of motion. All right, from here with your hands on your thighs dropping open, the soles of your feet together, we'll do a few different rotations of the arms. So start with your palms face down. Keep your ribs relaxing down. Notice if when you drop your ribs down, your waist drops down and your pubic bone lifts up. So you want to tilt your tailbone to the floor so it almost lifts your ribs up. And then keep your tailbone down and just try to drop the ribs without flattening your waist. All right, from here, palms face down, nice and slowly take the arms up and overhead, any amount without lifting the ribs. And then slowly bring them back down. And arms go up and over and back down. Take your time. Try to feel all the ranges of motion. Keeping the arms shoulder distance apart. So a little wider than your hips for most people. And then pause and turn your palms to face each other so your thumbs point up into the air. And then take your arms overhead with your thumbs, then pointing down towards the floor. And we'll go up and down a few more times with our arms in this rotation. Keeping your awareness on your rib cage, the back of the rib cage. Connect it to the mat. One more in this rotation. And then next time your hands get down to your thighs, turn your palms to face up and nice and slowly go overhead. Now the palms of the hands face behind you and your bony elbows point forward. And go up and down a few more times here. Letting your breath flow with ease, with softness. All right, if you put support under your thighs, you can move it out of the way and extend your legs long. With your legs long and your arms reaching overhead, and if your arms don't easily reach overhead, feel free to grab a block or something to use overhead. You can also use a block over your head, again, just to change the range of motion. So if you always work with your hands on the floor, you're working one particular range of motion, and a big part of what we do in this class is try to work different ranges of motion in our muscles. So from here, you're going to walk your legs and your arms over to the left a little bit and just bring your wrist and your ankles closer together. We're not going to cross our ankles over yet because we're going to do some dynamic movement with our arm and our leg. So let the right side of your body roll down to the floor and then take your right arm out and straight over your shoulder and then back towards your left hand, whether it's on the block or the floor. Reach it out over your shoulder and go back towards your left hand. Out over your shoulder, back towards your left hand, out over your shoulder, and back towards your left hand. And then hold there, and let's do the same thing with the legs. So you'll slightly pick up your right leg and move it in line with your hip, and then bring it back to your left leg. In line with your hip, and then bring it back. 2 more like that. In line with your hip, and bring it over. And in line with your hip, leg nice and straight, bring it over. And this time you can either keep your ankles together or cross your right ankle over your left ankle, trying to keep your legs nice and straight. Keep lengthening through your arms, tuning into your breath here. All right, and then uncross your right ankle, slide your legs back to center, slide your arms back to center. If you're using something under your hands, slide it over to the left. Your arms go a little bit over to the right, to the right. Your legs go a little bit over to the right. Try to bring your wrist and your ankles pretty close together. If the left side of your body rolled up off the floor, roll your shoulder, your rib cage, your left hip back down, and then take your left arm out in line with your shoulder and back towards your right hand. And out and across. Out and across. Out and across. Now let your hands rest together. Let's do the same thing with your left leg. Come back in line with your hip and bring it back towards your right leg. Keeping the leg straight, it goes out and across. Out and across. Out and across. Now just keep your ankles together, or you can cross your left ankle on top of your right ankle here and take a couple breaths. If there is an intention that you would like to set, a purpose for your practice today, your practice in life, it's a great day to set a purpose, to set an intention of what you want to give more of your attention to, of what you want to give more of your awareness to. All right, and then if your ankles crossed over, uncross, walk your legs back to center, walk your arms back to center, bring your arms down and grab whatever you're using as a strap. And then with your strap in hand, bend your right knee, wrap it around the ball of your right foot, right below your toes, so you can pull down on the ball of the foot. You want to watch a couple things with your ankle. One is that you're pulling down and flexing your ankle, but a lot of times when we put the strap on, for some people, the inner arch of the foot drops down, so that you want to twist your ankles so that inner and outer edge of the foot look more even. Now, right now, if your right knee is bent or your pelvis is tucking, you want to lower the leg a bit until the back of the left thigh comes down and you can really stretch the right leg long. And then from here, we're going to take that leg, and you can use both straps in one hand. You're going to take that leg slowly out to the right a little bit, keeping the leg nice and long, and slowly up through center and across the body, keeping the right hip on the floor. So take the right leg out, nice and slow. Use your arm to slow the motion down, and take the leg across. You're relaxing your leg as much as possible. And open out to the right a little bit. And take it across, relaxing through your hips. And open out to the right, and now stay there. Check on that ankle, lengthen the leg, relax around the thigh, relax around the hips. If you notice the left side of your body rolling up off the floor, don't open your right leg quite so much to the right. And then slowly bring that leg up and take it across your body without the right side of the body coming up. Check on the ankle. Breathing here. And now bring that leg straight up over your outer right hip. And then from here, as you pull down on the ball of the foot, gently try to spread your toes away from each other any amount. And if you get good at spreading them, see if you can spread them in one line. And if you, in particular, if your big toe tends to veer in towards your second toe, try to spread that big toe out a little bit. And and in particular, if you focus on that big toe and spreading it away, you might really feel those muscles down the inner arch activate. And then let's switch legs. So bring your left foot up, ball the foot through the strap, right leg extends, lower the left leg long enough that the tailbone tilts down, the back of the right thigh comes to the floor, the leg can straighten as much as possible. And then from there, notice any twist of your ankle and untwist it. And then maybe pull both straps into your left hand, and we'll open out to the left nice and slowly. And bring the leg up and go across. And I can't emphasize taking your time here, because that's what's going to allow you to really feel into your buttocks muscles, to feel into your hip muscles. And as you go up and across, you might notice a particular angle that's not all the way to one side or the other, where you can feel muscles engage in a way that you're like, oh, I need to pay more attention to moving my leg in that particular angle. Open it out to the side, and let's do that a few more times. And so as you can see, as I'm going side to side, if you find a spot, you can pause there for a moment. Or maybe when we pause together with our leg out and in, you don't go all the way to your end range of motion. If you find a particular spot to focus on, you can stay in that spot. And we're going one more time across, and then we're opening the leg out to the side and just holding there. And breathing and relaxing around the buttocks muscles, relaxing around the thigh muscles. And then take the leg up and slightly across the body. Without the left hip coming up off the floor. Take another breath here. And then bring that leg back up through center. Wiggle the strap so it's below your toes, and then try to spread all your toes out. If you get your toes spreading good, try to spread them out in one line. And then how about really focusing on pulling your big toe gently away from your other toes. All right, and then bend that knee. You can place your strap by your side. We're going to do some bridge lifts. I don't mind having something low underneath my head, but if it's uncomfortable for you, take it out. Try to straighten out the edges of your feet. You might have to look and really check that the outer edges of the feet are straight, ankles are hip distance, heels underneath the knees. And then from here, push into your feet and lift your hips up. And notice any unnecessary clenching. So of course muscles are engaged, but are you clenching your inner thighs? Are your buttocks muscles clenching? And then slowly lower down and push up through the feet and lower down. Try to use the entire sole of the foot, pressing up, ribs relax down and lower down. And press up and hold here in your bridge pose, and then roll your thighs out a little and roll your thighs in towards each other. Take your time, go slow. Roll your thighs out and in. And if you feel any discomfort in the joints, then don't go so far. Roll your thighs out a little, roll your thighs in, roll your thighs out a little, roll your thighs in, and then lower your hips down. Extend your left leg long, bend your right knee, bring your foot into the air. Put your right hand on your right rib cage. From your waist up, try to keep your ribs down as you lift your right hip and turn across the body. So a pure twist where our ribs stay relaxed down as we turn from the waist, as we turn from the hip. Lengthening through your bottom leg, breathing. All right, bring that right leg back. Put the foot down for just a second and then scoot your hips a big hop over to the right and then bring your left knee in to meet your right knee and do a spinal roll with your two knees going across. So now your ribs lift up off the floor and you're just rolling across. Your armpit lines up with about your hip. You can reach your arm out to your side. If it doesn't come down, you can do it at another angle. Sometimes it just feels good to put the arm at another angle. And then push down through your left elbow, lift your right leg first, unwind your spine, come back to center with your hips, extend your right leg long, bend your left knee, lift your foot up, bring your left hand to your left rib cage and lift your left pelvis and turn without the ribs coming up. So trying to move the pelvis without turning the rib cage. Just to the best of your ability, little by little over time, you'll get a little bit more range of motion in your torso. It might be really small at first. When I first started, my hip wouldn't even lift up off the floor. It felt, and without my ribs coming up. And so when I first started being aware of doing a twist in this way, and so it was more almost just feeling like I was turning my lower body. But now, with patience and persistence, I've gained some range of motion in the waist. Okay, bring your leg back, put your foot down, scoot your hips a big hop over to the left, bend your right knee to meet your left knee, and then two-knee roll, stacking your knees, stacking your ankles, turning. You can rest your arm on your side. You can reach it out at any angle. Sometimes it's just nice to let the arm rest on the side. Breathing here, enjoying your breath, enjoying your body. And then push down through your right elbow, lift your left leg, roll back, come onto your back, grab your strap again, cross your left ankle over your right knee, wrap the strap around the back of your right thigh. And we use a strap here so that we can really relax our shoulders down and tilt our tailbone to the floor, even as our thigh bones come in towards us. And then while we're here, we'll point our left ankle and flex. And when you flex, notice if you pull your toes back, can you keep your toes relaxed and really just move at the ankle? Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Now, notice if you can see your inner arch pretty clearly, that might mean that your ankles twist a little bit toward you. So can you twist your ankle slowly side to side so you're slightly turning your arch to point more towards the floor if there was a floor underneath your foot. And then just keep your ankle flexed and your ankle twisted in that neutral ankle and take a breath here. And then lower your right foot down, uncross your left ankle, cross your right ankle over your left ankle, wrap the strap around the back of your left thigh, feel your tailbone tilt down to the floor, because a neutral pelvis is when we get more load in our hips. When our tailbone is lifting up and our waist flattens, we're putting more load in our spine. So rotate your tailbone away from you as your thigh bones come in. So trying to move at the hip separate from the spine. And then without relaxing your toes, point your right ankle and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex, point and flex, and then twist your ankle slowly side to side. And then next time your ankle is flexed and your arch is kind of twisted in a way that it's more on the bottom of your foot than turning towards you, hold there for a breath or two. And then lower the foot down, uncross the ankle. You can place that strap out of the way. And then from here, you're going to cross your right ankle in front of your left ankle. Walk your ankles away from each other as far as you can. So you're trying to cross higher and higher and higher up your shins. And you can either work with a relaxed ankle here, or you can keep flexing your ankle and untwisting as your thighs drop open. And then from here, you're going to Lift your arms into the air, turn your palms to face behind you, bring your pinky fingers together, and we're going to do 3 heights. So your thumbs open to the floor, but the first height is low chest level. And then bring your pinky fingers together, and then mid chest level. And then bring your pinky fingers together, and then high chest level, shoulder level. And pinky fingers together, and mid chest level. And pinky fingers together, and low chest level. And pinky fingers together, mid chest level. Pinky fingers together, high chest level. Excellent. Pinky fingers together, switch legs, lift your thighs up, cross your opposite ankle in front. Walk your feet as far apart from each other as you can. You can either relax your ankle, especially if your hips are particularly tight, or if you're trying to create some more stability, if your hips fall open easily, work more with that neutral ankle, flexed and not twisted, but untwisted ankle as your thighs drop open. And then from here, open your thumbs towards the floor, and either touching the floor or hovering over the floor, go up and down with your arms like you're drawing a snow angel. Front ribs stay relaxed down, especially as the arms get higher into the air above your head. Breathing here, so those ribs might create a boundary because almost everyone can go higher if they lift their ribs up into the air. Relaxing around the thigh muscles. Of course, you're always welcome to stack under my thighs again for this one. You have to. And now you're going to want something to lift over your head. And you can just use your arms in the air if you don't have anything with you. But an extra rolled up mat works great for this, especially since it's wider if you carry tension in your shoulders. You can use a block as well, holding it on the widest width between your hands, whatever you have. The wider, the better, so you can get more width between your hands. Press your palms into it. If your elbows tend to pop out to the side, hug them in. Think of the front ribs staying down as you slowly take it overhead and come back up. And whatever you're holding on to, take it overhead, elbows hug in without the ribs going up, and slowly back up. And overhead, and slowly back up. And overhead, and then hold, gently squeezing if your hands are on the block, and lift your thighs up a little, and really slowly open them. Thighs lift up a little, slowly open. Thighs lift up slowly, feel them engage, and slowly open. Thighs lift up a little, and slowly open. And then slowly bring your arms back up, block by your side, lift your knees up. You can move any props out of the way. Give your knees a gentle hug in with your knees hip distance, maybe a little rock side to side across your lower back, or a little half circle or full circle. And then you can either rock yourself up or roll to one side to press yourself up and come around onto your knees. And then from your knees hip distance apart, thumbs spread out, wrists walk back under the shoulders or under the chest. Relax the belly so your tailbone's high in the air. You can work on turning your elbow pits to face forward, and then we'll do some rhomboid push-ups here. So your spine relaxes down between your 2 straight arms. It's tempting here if the spine doesn't drop down to bend the elbows. Try not to. And then you're lifting your whole rib cage up. Feel your armpits lift up, feel your breastbone lift up, but without tucking your tail under. So the belly stays relaxed, the tailbone stays high. Let's do a few more of those. We're not going to do a lot of these today. Press down equally through the palms. Feel the upper back get wide. Feel your armpits. Breathing here. And the next time you're in the upward position, so you're lifting up through your spine, extend your right leg straight back behind you and cross it over your left ankle. Tuck your toes under as much as you can. If your hips pushed over to the left, push them back to the right a little. Straight back to the right, though. Try not to let the hip fall down. So straight back to the right, and then from there, just roll your right ankle from side to side. So you're rolling from the big toe of your foot to the pinky toe side and gently pushing down as you roll side to side. And then come to center, bring that foot back, knees hip distance apart, find the top of the rhomboid push-up, reach your left leg back, cross it over your right ankle, push your hip straight back over to the left, not letting the hip drop down if you tend to have mobile hips. Lift up through your rhomboid push-up, tuck your toes under, push down through the ball of the foot, and rotate side to side as you gently push down through the ball of your foot. Breathing here. And then put that knee back down, put your forearms down right underneath your shoulders. Let's tuck our toes under here. Maybe lift your knees up a little bit to get a little bit more of the toes or the ball of the foot tucked under. Heels straight up and down, belly relaxed, and just push your hips back and forward. Keeping the tailbone pretty high. You can look back and check if your ankles are moving side to side. For this one, try to stabilize them. Now, how about letting your ankles roll out to the side a little bit and moving back and forth here? And then letting your ankles roll in towards your big toe and moving back and forth a little. And then bringing yourself back to center and doing a few more of these. All right, stand up on your hands, stand up on your knees, step your right foot forward into a low lunge, outer edge of the foot straight. For today, we're gonna back up the left hip so it's right under the knee and just push the pubic bone forward a little, like you're tucking your pelvis under to gently pull on the front of that left thigh. You're gonna reach your arms out in front of you, palms face down, low chest level, and cross your right arm on top. And then open out to the sides and cross your left arm on top. Open out to the sides. Turn the palms face forward. Thumbs point up in the air. Cross the right arm on top and open. Cross the left arm on top and open. Rotate the arm bones so the palms face up. Cross the right arm on top and open. Cross the left arm on top and open. Let's switch legs. You can bring your hands down or keep your hands in the air as you slide your right leg back, push down through your right hip, step your left foot forward, outer edge of the foot straight, knees not going past the ankle. And then from here, back your right hip up so it's more over your knee and just push your pubic bone forward instead of taking your pelvis forward today. So back your hip up, just the pubic bone forward. Turn your palms down. Right arm crosses on top and open. Left arm crosses on top and open. Turn your palms to face forward. Thumbs up. Right arm crosses on top. Open. Left arm crosses on top. Open. Flip your palms up. Right arm crosses on top and open. Left arm crosses on top and open. Then tuck your back toes under. You can put your hands on your knee or keep your arms out. Push down through your feet to come on up to stand. Okay, from the top of your mat, we're gonna do 3 forward folds with our feet in 3 different positions. With your ankles hip distance apart, slightly pigeon toe your feet so your toes are in a little, your heels are out, and rotate your pelvis to hinge forward. And we're working with a neutral spine, so we're not trying to fold at the spine. We're trying to get as much motion from the pelvis as we can and then just pausing there and being patient if we don't feel sensation yet. I promise if you keep working on getting a little bit more tilt of your pelvis, where you didn't feel stretch on the back of your legs anymore, you will feel plenty even without folding forward more. And then slowly come up and turn your toes slightly out to the sides and nice and slowly rotate your pelvis here. Relaxing your belly, relaxing around your buttocks and thighs. Just any clenching, so muscles may engage, but just if you feel any particular clenching going on. And then come on up, and last but not least, outer edges of the feet straight, neutral foot. Rotate the pelvis back up the thigh bones a little bit, breathing here. And then sit back into a chair's pose, leaning back with the hips instead of forward with the knees, hips dropping a little bit lower than the shoulders. Take a breath here, bring your hands down to the mat, keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back into a lunge. From here, knee bending right over the front ankle, press back long through the leg. You can bring your fingers or your palms flat down under your shoulders. How about reaching your right arm forward and lower your hand down? Reach your left arm forward, lower your hand down, bring your hands inside your right foot, walk halfway around to the left, parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels, and then come all the way up to stand. Open your arms out to the side. Since we spend so much time in modern culture with our palms face down and internal rotation, we're going to do our warriors with palms face up. From there, reach out, turn your right toes out 90 degrees, outer edge of the foot straight, bend into the knee for a warrior two. Breathing, press long from the left buttocks into the heel, feel the right thigh open right over the knee, and then inhale, the right arm goes into the air as the left arm comes down, reverse warrior. And then from there, bring that arm up as you slowly straighten your right leg and tilt over into a triangle pose. Reach out through the upper arms, feel the chest and the upper back spread wide, and then bend into the knee. You can place your hand or your elbow down as you reach your top arm over. Notice if you're sinking into your shoulder, lift out of it. You can use that elbow to open your right thigh, press long from your left buttocks into your heel, and then from there, push down through your feet to come up. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, outer edge of the foot straight, and bend into the knee for a warrior two. On this side, breathing. Smooth inhales and exhales, reverse warrior. Using the back of that right leg. Noticing if your weight is drifting into the front of your feet, even here, and slightly backing up your hips so the weight's in the heels. Come on over, slowly straighten your left leg without locking, without snapping your knee straight. So the leg will straighten all the way, but without snapping straight. Come on over into a triangle pose. Breathing. And then slowly bend that left knee, hand or elbow to the knee as you reach the top arm over. Press long through the right buttocks into the heel. Toes are relaxed. And then press through the feet to come on up. Parallel your feet. So we're going to do wide forward folds, but with different internal rotations of the feet. So you can turn your feet all the way and internally rotate it. Now, if this bothers your ankles, don't turn them in this much. But what I want you to do is from the outer edges of your feet straight, turn them in the tiniest little bit. Because we're going to try to turn them in more and then turn them in more. So just turn them in the tiniest little bit as you rotate from your pelvis and back your thigh bones up. Breathing. And then push through the backs of the legs to come up and see if you can turn in a tiny bit more. And rotate from the pelvis and back the hips up. And the rotation is also happening at the top of the legs, at the thigh bones. Relax your belly. And then slowly come up. Now bring your outer edges of your feet back to straight. Rotate your pelvis halfway. If you want to, you can bend your knees or you can keep going down to the floor. Walk back around to your right foot at the front of the mat. And then once you get there, put your left knee down, stand up in your low lunge, push down through your feet to step up. Step your feet all the way together and sit back into a chair pose. Press into your feet to come up. Step your feet as wide as your mat. Good time to check, are the outer edges of your feet really straight? Sit back into a chair pose. And then press into your feet and come back to hip distance apart. Sit back into a chair pose. and then press up. And we're going to go ahead and come over to our chair for just a moment. From your chair, you have options. You can use the seat of the chair if your spine doesn't feel rounded. You can use the back of your chair to give your spine a little length, or you could use anything in between. So let's say you feel like you want to come down to the chair, but you're a little bit rounded here, then put something under your hands, maybe something a little bit more stable than a pillow, maybe a block or something, to give yourself a little bit more height so your spine stays long, your belly stays relaxed, your tailbone in the air. So find a height that works good for your body. With the outer edges of your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, back your weight up into your heels, push down through your outer left hip, hug it in. So when we come up, if you watch my outside hip here, when we come up, there's a tendency for the hip to go out to the side. That's in one way your body's bypassing muscle use. So you want to try to push down and hug the hip in of the standing leg. So press down, hug the left hip in, lift the right leg behind you. It doesn't have to be very much. And then back up your weight so it's in the heel of your standing leg. Tap your foot down, lift up. Tap down, lift up, keeping the weight back in the heel. Hug the hip in, tap down, lift up, tap down, lift up. Now you want to be conscious as we lift is your hip rolling open, because the more your hip rolls open, the less you're targeting the buttocks muscles we're trying to use. So the more you pull and hug your left hip back, the less your right hip, as it lifts and lowers, will open out to the side. Okay, put that foot down. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Back your weight up into your heels. Wrap. And then from there, push down through your outer right hip, hug it in, lift your left leg into the air. First thing is back your weight up into your heel. You'll notice the front of your leg will keep pulling you forward, so back up. But if you end up with your hands way behind your shoulders, you have to adjust yourself and maybe stand closer to the chair. And then from here, tap and lift, and tap and lift, and tap and lift, tap and lift. Let's do a couple more. Back up the weight into the heel. Tap and lift, tap and lift. And then bring that foot down. Step your feet in hip distance apart. Back your weight up into your heels. Push down through the back of the legs to come up. Okay, before we switch sides entirely, let's do a calf stretch. I'm going to use a half dome. You could use a block. You could use a rolled up towel. Put the ball of your right foot up, your heel down, outer edges of feet straight. You can step your left foot forward a little bit. Weight back in the heels. Turn your elbow pits, the soft front part of your elbow, forward. Palms or thumbs forward, as long as elbow pits stay forward. Pull back, relax forward. Get into a gentle swinging motion. Breathing. Notice if your ankles twist it to one side. Center your ankle here in your calf stretch. If you feel like you're losing balance, don't step your left foot quite so far forward. And the next time your arms go back a little, pause, and nice and slowly with your ribs relaxing down, turn your head and look towards the right, and turn your head and look towards the left. Turn your head slowly and look towards the right, chin parallel with the floor. Turn your head and look towards the left. Now turn your head to the right, this time hold, and again swing the arm bones back. Breathing. Stabilize through the outer hips, pushing down. Pause the arms, turn your head over to the left, and backward arm swings here. Soften the face, relax the jaw, and bring your head back to center, and release your arms and switch feet. So, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Put the ball of the foot up, either on a rolled up towel, a thin block, your dome. Push down through your hip that's on the bolster, and then you maybe step your outside foot forward unless you feel like you lose balance or your leg muscles clench up and you're unable to relax them. Square your hips to face straight ahead, and then start to swing your arms. And at first, it's very common that when the thumbs are forward, the elbow pits turn in. So it makes it easier to keep the elbow pits forward. At first, the palms of your hands forward. It makes it easier to keep your elbow pits forward. Breathing. All right, pause with your arms back. This time, ribs relax down in front and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Notice if your head twists, untwist, bring your head up, left ear to left shoulder. Try to feel like you're dropping it straight down to your shoulder. Nice and slowly, right ear to right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. All right, right ear to right shoulder. And then swing your arms a little bit there. Go slow. Feel the connection from the hands all the way up to the neck. And then pause the arms. Bring your left ear over to your left shoulder. And swing your arms slowly there. So your hips drifting to one side. Bring your belly button back to center. And then slowly bring your head up and release your foot. Okay, what I was talking about a moment ago when we were balancing with the outer edges of your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, is that when a lot of people come up onto one leg, so we're pushing down through the right hip and the left foot floats up, because of the lack of strength in this area of the body that comes from sitting and shoe wearing and a lot of modern cultured habit patterns. When people push down through that hip, what often happens at first is one, the hip hikes up. The opposite hip hikes up to get the leg up off the floor, or the knee bends. So eventually you'll push down through one hip and you won't have to hike your hip up so much and your knee won't have to bend to get your foot up off the floor. That will happen with time. When I first practiced this and I pushed down through my hip, nothing happened. My foot did not come up off the floor. So be patient with yourself. Press down and your foot will come up. The next part is the standing leg. The hip will go out to the side. So it's not, your joints are no longer stacked, which means you're overusing some muscles, underusing other muscles, and in many ways pulling on your connective tissue in unhealthy ways if this is the way you're always balancing. And if your hip comes out to the side when you do this, then chances are that's happening with every step you take, because walking is a balancing motion. So you want to hug your hip in and pull down and stack your joints and then back your weight up into your heels as you're balancing. Let's tuck the top of the foot behind us for a top of the foot stretch. And you can kind of work on those motions. Does my hip tend to draw forward? Does my hip tend to go out to the side and hug it in for the standing leg? And same thing with tree pose and warrior three and all of these poses. That's whatever pattern is happening here will happen in all of those poses. And we're bringing ourselves into a place where we're using more muscle around the joint more equally. And then bring the foot back, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through your outer hip, hug it in, back your weight up into your heel and flex the ankle. And if at first the leg doesn't come up without hiking the hip up or bending the knee, just keep working on it. Keep imagining that outer hip anywhere along the side of your body pressing down. You will get more sensation over time, just like anything you focus on and practice, you'll get better at it. And then tuck the top of that foot behind you and still work on that. What happened? Did the weight drift forward? Did the hip go out to the side? Backing up, pushing down continuously through the outer hip. And you can actually become really good at balancing without using the muscle equally around your joints. But in the long run, it's not going to benefit your joints as much. So that's why we're working on these little details, and then once you get them, you'll see there's a big difference from the way you were balancing before to the new way you're balancing. As you wake up these muscles, you'll feel a lot more stable. You'll feel more muscle work, less pressure in your joints. Just a good overall feeling for the long run of your body. Okay, bring that foot back. Now from here, top of the mat, let's do a double calf stretch here. So I'm going to use 2 blocks side by side. You can use a rolled up towel that's long enough. You can use an extra rolled up mat. You could use a dome if you just put your feet pretty far apart. Let's pigeon toe our feet. You have to lean forward a little bit, toes in, heels out, and rotate forward from the pelvis here. You could always do this with your chair in front of you and put your hands on your chair, especially if you tend to have lower back issues. Sometimes that takes some pressure off the spine. And come up and now switch. Turn your toes out slightly, heels in, and rotate from the pelvis, backing your hips up. And then slowly come up, and last but not least, outer edges of feet very straight, and rotate from the pelvis, thigh bones move back, breathing here. And come up, and then slowly move your stuff out of the way. Let's do our 3 squat variation here, big toes all the way together, sit back. Press into the feet to come up. Step your feet as wide as the mat, outer edges of feet straight. Sit back. Watch the thighs collapsing in or out. Press up. Come to hip distance apart with your ankles. Sit back. Bring your hands down to the floor. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right leg way back. And then from there, hands can come down under the shoulders, or you can put your hands on blocks, reach back through that back leg. How about reaching your right arm forward here and lower your hand down? Left arm forward and lower your hand down. Hands inside the left foot, walk halfway around to the right. And if you're like me and you have to turn around because you didn't switch sides, then just turn around. All right, weight back in the heels, arms reach up into the air, 2 palms face each other. Turn your right toes out to the right. Outer edge of foot straight, bend into the knee, warrior 2 with arms in the air. Breathing. Reverse warrior, lean back to the left. And slowly straighten that leg and tilt your torso over, 2 arms in the air, triangle pose. And then slowly bend your right knee, steering it over your ankle, maybe lean over a little further. Press long through that left buttocks into the heel. And then push into your feet to come up. Straighten the leg, turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out, outer edge of the foot straight, press long from the right buttocks into the heel, bend into the left knee. And reverse. Lean back to the right. And slowly straighten the leg. And go over into a triangle pose, 2 arms in the air, breathing. Slowly bend your knee, inner thigh opens, maybe lean over a little more. And then push into your feet to come up, parallel your feet, bring your arms down. Now this time turn your toes a tiny bit out, just a little bit out to the sides. Rotate your pelvis as you push your hips back. And press through the heels to come up. Turn your feet a tiny bit more out to the sides. Rotate your pelvis, pushing your thigh bones back. Breathing. Press into the feet to come up. Parallel your feet. Rotate from the pelvis, folding down. Walk back around to your left foot at the front of the mat. Put your right knee down. From there, stand up on your knees. Tuck your back toes under and push down to step up. Okay, we're back to our chair. Again, you can use the back of the chair, you can use the seat of the chair, or you can stack something on the chair for a little bit more height. Spread your thumbs out, try to use your arms equally. So a lot of times as people start moving the legs around, the arms start shifting to one side or one elbow bends. So use your arms for stability, just like the rhomboid push-up. Outer edges of your feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. push down through your outer left hip, hug it in, lift your right leg into the air. Notice if the hip starts rolling open, keep the hip squared. For some people, the hip will drop down. If that's you, just be aware. Back your weight up into your heels, reach back through the leg, doesn't matter how high. Breathing here. How about walking your hands up to the back of the chair if they weren't already there? How about lifting one arm up? How about lowering that hand down, lifting the other arm up? Lowering that hand down, walk your hands back down to the seat of the chair, back your weight up, bring the foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, back your weight up in the heel. Push down through the outer right hip, hug it in. Lift the left leg into the air, backing the hips up. Breathing. How about walking your hands up to the top of the chair? How about reaching one arm long? Lower down. Reach the other arm up. Lower down. Walk your hands back down to the seat of the chair and weight back in the heel and lower the foot down. And then bring your hands to the back of the chair and just push your hips back. 2 long arms, 2 long legs. Great time to practice rotating your thigh bones into neutral, relaxing your kneecaps. And then bring your hands back down to the chair. Weight back in the heels and shift your hips from right to left. 2 straight legs. Bring your hips back to center, back your weight up, push through the back of the legs to come up. You can stay facing whichever way you're facing. Cross your right ankle behind your left ankle. Reach your arms up into the air. Cross your right wrist behind your left wrist and go over to the left. Good. Come back up. Uncross your ankles. Switch the crossing. Uncross your wrist. Switch the crossing. Go over to the right. Good. Come back up. Uncross. Uncross your ankles. Stand your feet hip distance or a little wider. Slowly go back into a chair pose and then start to go a little lower. Keep backing your hips up. Keep watching the inner thighs. Coming down into as low of a squat as you comfortably can without falling into one. Breathing. And then slowly coming all the way down to the floor, whether just dropping your buttocks down or crawling down to the floor. And from here, we'll nice and slowly roll back onto our back. You're welcome to put something underneath your head. And from here, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Press through the feet to lift your hips up and lower down. And lift up and lower down. Lift up and lower down. Lift up, hold. Using the whole sole of the foot, relaxing the toes, relaxing any clenching. Roll your thighs in and out a tiny bit. Bring your thighs back to hip distance apart. And then lower your hips down. Extend your left leg long. Bend your right knee, foot comes up, right hand to the right rib cage. Lift and turn from the right side of the waist and the pelvis. And unwind. Extend the right leg long, left knee comes in, left hand to the rib cage. Lift and turn from the left waist and the pelvis. Breathing here. Okay, bring that leg back, bend both knees, cross your left ankle over your right knee, wrap the strap around the back of your right thigh, tailbone tilting to the floor as thigh bones come in any amount, neutral ankle if you'd like to work with that, and then roll your hips Slowly side to side. You're going from one buttocks to the other. It's not a big motion. And switch. Uncross, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Cross the right ankle over. Wrap the strap around the back of the left thigh. Neutral ankle, so whatever that means for you, flexing the ankle, or if your ankle tends to twist. Again, if your hips are very tight to start out with, maybe just letting your ankles to relax at first. And then from there, a little rotation. Or if you're just having a day where you want your ankles to relax, that's okay too. Tiny rotation from buttocks to buttocks. It's not big. And then lower the foot down, uncross the ankle, release that strap. Okay, hug your right knee in, but without tucking the waist down to the floor. So right thigh comes in as close as it will come in. Extend the left leg long. And then how about you can either work with a bent knee at 90 degrees or you can extend that leg up into the air. Your choice. But from here, open that leg a little bit to the right. Bring the leg up through center and go across to the left. Keep the right hip mostly on the floor. And bring the leg out to the right. And bring the leg across to the left. And bring the leg up through center. Reach up, spread all your toes. Slowly bend your knee. Extend your right leg long. Bring your left knee in. You can work the whole time with 90 degree, but let's give a knee hug first. Tailbone tilts down. And then you can work 90 degrees and go side to side, or you can stretch that leg up into the air. Open out to the left. Bring the leg up and across. Reach from the buttocks into the heel. And one more time each side. Open out to the left. And bring the leg across, over. Left hip stays grounded. Open up into the air, lengthen through that leg. Spread your toes out any amount. And then bend that knee nice and softly. Give it a little hug in. Hug both of your knees in. Maybe a little rock side to side or a circle on your lower back. For me, it just feels good to be still here for a moment. And then as you're ready, lower your feet down, stretch your legs straight, flip your palms up by your side, let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close, and become very present with your body and your breath for your final pose, Savasana. Stay present with your body, with your breath. Keep tuning into your breath, your body. On days when the mind has become calm, scan your body, feel the sensations of your body. On days when the mind just won't calm down, stay with your breath. Your breath is your tool, your breath is your friend. And it will vary from day to day, no matter how many years you practice. Some days you'll need your breath. Some days you'll scan and focus on your body. Be the one. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile can begin a friendship. One hand can lift a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One sunbeam can light a room. One candle can wipe out darkness. One laugh can conquer gloom. One hope can raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can wake up everybody. One life can make the difference. Be that one. Start to let your awareness come into your breath, maybe allowing your breath and your lungs to expand a little bit more on the inhale, to contract a little bit more on the exhale, the muscles between your ribs. And then if you're ready to start moving, if you want to reach your arms up and do a little side bend or do a little twist or move your neck around slowly or spread out through your fingers. You can interlace one pinky finger on the bottom and press away with your hands. I meant to do this one today. And then you can switch and interlace your other pinky finger and press away, gently spreading through the thumbs. And then as you're ready, roll over onto one side and just pause there. Recall your purpose, your intention if you set one at the start of class. And that quote that I just read, be the one. Really the way to be the one is to take care of yourself. You don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Just take care of yourself and your gifts will shine through in your life. And so thank yourself for practicing with me today, because that's one step of taking care of yourself. With ease, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Feel free to switch it up, especially since you're at your home, you have space. And then bring your hands to heart center in gratitude for this day. Namaste.